If you have to put someone on a pedestal, put teachers. They are society's heroes. The duties of a teacher are neither few nor small, but they elevate the mind and give energy to the character. The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. Better than 1,000 days of diligent study is one.
Good evening, everybody. Could you please confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, Sujan, you're audible.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all again for registering and attending this one-week national level online faculty development program on outcome-based education and application of generative AI in teaching and research organized by the Internal Quality Assurance IQAC of Government College Kottayam in association with the Kerala State Higher Education Council, the KSHEC. We would like to welcome today Dr. Sundar Job, who's the Associate Professor and Academic Mentor, Marine College, Kottayam Autonomous, and Chief of Academics, IPSS Solutions Limited. And also, we would like to welcome all the FDP participants of today. Now, about this FDP, this is a one-week FDP program with the same timing of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And this is the second day of our FDP. Now, fee for the LMS access and processing of the certificate is ₹400. All the participants who have paid the processing fee will receive the LMS access, the video recording for all the dates, and provision to download your FTP completion certificate. The procedure for receiving your certificate will be informed to you towards the end of the FTP. If any of you are yet to make the payment, you can make the payment of ₹400 to the account details I will shortly put in the chat. If you are unable to attend any of the live sessions, they will be available in the LMS. We have shared the LMS access details through email to those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp till yesterday. Those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp today will receive the LMS access later in the day or by tomorrow. If any of you have trouble in attending the WebEx online session, you can also join the YouTube live session, the link of which I'll put in the chat now. My name is Jacob George. I'm working as Global Relations Manager for IPSS Solutions Limited, and I will be the event moderator. Now, coming on to today's session, today's technical session will be on architecture of OBE and design of outcomes. This will be delivered by Dr. Sunil Job, KA, who's the Associate Professor and Academic Mentor, Marine College, Kottayam. Now, Dr. Sunil Job has 30+ years of experience in teaching and 10+ years in corporate consultancy. He holds a PhD in mathematical education and has been an associate professor at MG University College of Teacher Education from 1999. He has started his career as assistant professor at Carmela Rani Training College, Kollam. He has served as visiting team member of NCT for grant of recognition and as a resource person for the Affiliation Renewal Committee of MG University. He's an active blogger in cutting-edge technologies in IT, education, and data science. Dr. Job has also published many articles in national journals and authored many academic books and a reference manual in mathematics. He has served as resource person for a number of faculty development programs in outcome-based education, data science, e-learning, etc. Currently, he is serving as associate professor and academic mentor, Marine College, Kottayam Autonomous, and chief of academics, IPSS Solutions Limited. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sujit, for the wonderful introduction. And good evening, all. So before we move in, I would like to confirm whether my voice, my sound is audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, thank you. So as we are now in the second day of our faculty development program, and as we have mentioned in the previous day, we assured that there will be a lot of informative stuff which is coming up in this throughout these days. In the previous day, we have just gone through the Bloom's taxonomy, and I told you that there is something very, very important when we are just preparing for the implementation of the outcome-based education in its true sense. Because the as I told that the Bloom's taxonomy will be spanning the entire process of outcome-based education, right from the formulation phase where it gives you some insights into how the outcome could be formulated with reference to the different levels of learning. And when you come to the interactive phase, that is in the real teaching learning phase, uh, that gives you a clear-cut idea on how to interact with the scholars and how to provide them with the right prior and current conditions, how to bring a rapport between them. So this will be very useful for you for creating a very conducive and good learning environment compatible for the learner. And when you come to the assessment phase also, because teaching becomes complete with assessment only. So when you come to the assessment phase also, this Bloom's taxonomy gives a clarity. So that's why we have given that much priority to Bloom's taxonomy, and we have just drilled into the Bloom's taxonomy from the question level and to the question level analysis. And today we are into the segment of outcome-based education, because in the previous segment I just mentioned outcome-based education with a small reference of the change that the learning is been trying to bring about in the learner. And now we are going into detail about the architecture of the outcome-based education. And the key element of the today's section will be just giving you the clarity on the architecture and about the different components that comes in the way of the architecture of outcome-based education. And something more important is that how to develop a good outcome. That is the key important in or the core important stuff that we are going to have in this segment. And also I'll give you giving you some criteria in order to check whether the outcome that we have formulated is a good outcome, or is there a necessity to revisit outcome and to make it a better outcome, so that that will take you in a comfortable way in the outcome-based educational process. And also, as I've mentioned in the previous day, that actually, when we speak of outcome-based education, definitely there is a lot of clouds of ambiguity has been clustering around every teachers who's been working with outcome-based education, and it is often said that this outcome-based education is just taxing us like anything. We have got a lot of that is additional work to be done along with the teaching. Actually, that is a wrong notion. Actually, in the very simplest terms, what I would like to put is that the outcome-based education is just a directional stuff. It gives you a direction to which you have to steer up your curricular activities, and that is what which has been there in that outcome-based education. You are prefixing what should be the end product, or what should be the end result of your interactions, right from a single classroom interactions, what we call that, that is intended learning outcome of that particular class, or you may be prefixing these outcomes from the this course level, and ensure that by the end of the course that thing is met. And you will be prefixing it from the program level itself. What are the competencies that the scholar should gain by the end of the program? You're prefixing that. So when we are prefixing that, you will be having a clear-cut goal where to reach. So in that sense, I would like to say that this outcome-based education is a directional stuff that steer you in the right path. And the different indicators that is essential in that outcome-based educational journey, like we'll be evaluating a lot of formative evaluations take place during the journey of outcome-based education. All these are just the milestones in order to ascertain whether you are in the right track. It is just like a journey. That is, the destination has been prefixed and you are moving to the destinations. And the different indicators in between are just the milestones in order to ensure that whether we are in the right track. And not only that, by the end of the journey, you should reach the destination. And outcome-based education only insists on that. By the end of your class, you should reach the destination. And what is the destination? Destination is nothing but the outcome that you have prefixed. So it is just like an assurance of learning. That is, you have to prefix something in advance, and you have to assure that that particular outcome has been met by the learner. That is the essence of outcome-based education. And all the things that you think that is burdening you is all because of some misconceptions and over taxations regarding these outcome-based education's implementation. So if you're taking it in the right sense, in the right spirit, you will really love this implementation of outcome-based education, because that brings result to the learners, that the learners are moving in the right way, and that makes the things very productive. Okay, actually, I have given you a promise last day, because last day we had a very good inaugural section. We had a lot of inputs, and together with my technical section has made you to sit up to 9:20. Actually, rarely it happens. So I promised you that today I will not make you to sit that long. So we can have a very precise section, and also we'll be giving you ample time for interaction, so that you can clear up all the ambiguities that you have with respect to the topics that we have been discussing for today. And ahead there is a lot of very interesting things that has to happen. We'll be discussing on the use case of how this outcome-based education has been implemented at the Canadian universities at Alberta, and also a lot of good stuff is yet to come. So you will really enjoy the entire process or the entire all the days that we are moving in this FDP programs. So I've got few slides to share with you. Let me pass on to my slides. Okay, actually, I will just keep my video close, because there's some connectivity issues. So okay, Srijin, what is the status now? Is my screen okay?
Yes, screen is visible.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thanks. So here we go with the section 2 of our FTP program, the second technical section on the line. And we are just, this will lead you through the introduction to OBE and formulation of the outcome. So this is what we are going to discuss in this segment. So when we are going through that introduction, we'll be just going through the architecture of outcome-based education. What are the building blocks that constitute that architecture? And we'll be just slicing it into these different components that comes in the way of this architecture. And the center of attraction of today's section will be how to formulate a outcome. I'll be just giving a small formula for calculating, not for calculating, for writing, formulating an outcome, and also some quality check, some criteria for quality check of a good outcome. So that will be what we'll be having for today's segment. Yeah, I have just showcased it in this agenda. Actually, we'll be going through all these pieces, all these components this evening. That is, we will first try to check out what and why of OBE. Obviously, that is something very important, because something you will get motivated into some activities only when you get that answer of why, what is the importance of outcome-based education. That will be answered in the segment. And then obviously the building block that constitute the architecture of outcome-based education. And the coming components are nothing but the different components that comes in the way of architecture, like program educational objectives, graduate attributes, program outcomes, and program specific outcomes, course outcomes. So these are the different components that comes in the architecture. Some detailing regarding that will be included in the segment. And then we'll be just giving you some insights on how to write a learning outcome and how to develop that learning outcome into a course level outcome, program level outcome, like that, and the quality check of a good outcome. And obviously, our real life lies in the LMS. So, what is that you are having for today for as an LMS staff? That also will be detailed in this segment. So we are here to answer the question, why OBE? What is the importance of OBE? So what you are seeing in the screen is nothing but it is a experimental study which has been conducted. That is, it is the result of a study which has been conducted on these professional graduates who have passed out of a professional colleges. So what does it signifies here? So this gives the status of the students passing out, completing, not passing out, completing a professional degree program. This is the status of the students who have completed the professional degree program. And these students are put to an experimental situations where they are given with some activities related to the trade that they have been that is mastering throughout the 4-year program. And this is the result of that particular experimental study. So looking into this, what can you say about the result of these students who have completed the this graduation program under this professional program? What can you say about the result? Is it a good result or not encouraging result? I only you can put it in chat. I am just logged in through my mobile also, so that I can read it. What about the result? Here you can see two axes. One axis in the horizontal line is been divided into two with respect to failed, those who failed in the exams and those who passed in the exams. So with respect to that, what can you say about the result? What can you say about the result? What is the percentage of pass? There are some results have the result is average, result is good, a lot of poor result considering the pass percentage. The pass percentage is 91%, 84% pass, a lot of you can interact. Only when we interact we will be live, because okay, so certain percentage to be raised to 91%. A lot of good observations are happening. But my observation, I will say that considering the result of a professional, actually this is the study which has been conducted on an engineering graduate program. This is that experimental study. Actually, it has been taken from a journal, Higher Enhancing University Education. It is from that, this one, I've taken it. So regarding the result, we have 91% of the students passed without any supply paper after completion of the 4-year program. So how come 81? How come 91%? So those which comes beyond this line, that is both 84 and 7 together, 91% of the students have passed. So when we say that 91% of the student passed a professional program without any supply papers, definitely we say that it is a very good result, isn't it? It needs a very good publicity. You can make some active promotions in the social media that 91% of students have passed. It's a good result. but they are put to an experimental situation. The entire students are put to an experimental situations, and it is found that being a professional program, definitely they should be they should have some mastery regarding some task related to that particular area of their study. So when they are given with some task related to the area of study, some professional related task, only 7% of the students are able to do it in a better way. In the better way, in the sense, in a, they could successfully complete the task without much issues. Only 7%. And this person, 91% of them have qualified the graduation program, but only 7% were been able to complete the task successfully without much issues, isn't it? And 84% couldn't complete that, and 9% couldn't qualify the examination, and also they are not able to complete the task. So this is the status of that particular group which has been put into study. That was a random group. Normally you can also see that a lot of headlines has come regarding the students. The professional students are completing their academical courses. They says that the students passing out of the Indian professional colleges are not job fit, because the employees have to streamline their competencies to fit into those particular trade to which they have been recruited. So that is a fallacy of our educational system. They have been trained for about a long 4 years, and still after completing this long 4 years, and they are qualifying past the examinations without any supply papers in the first chance itself, but still they are not capable to meet the requirement of the industry in order to take up any assignments related to their profession. So this is the fallacy of the educational system, because they are academically okay. That is why they have qualified. Academically okay. So they 91% have qualified the academical requirement for this graduation program. But when they are given some task, when they are given a task, this group, that is 84 plus 9, 84 plus 9, that is 93% of the students are not capable of doing that particular task related to their area of study, professional segment that they have been studying. Only 7%. So we could say that 93% of the students moving out of these professional colleges are confused graduates. They are not able to materialize what they have acquired during the 4 years into productive professional competencies. So this is the fallacy of the educational system. So in a very simple term, what outcome-based education focuses that the outcome-based education, the focus of the outcome-based education is to transfer this blue area, and also to transfer this red area into this green area. What is the speciality of the green area? They are competent with the academical stuff related to the area of study, as well as they are competent with the academical skills and competencies essential to perform any task related to the area of learning. So this should be ensured in the students. This should be ensured. So actually, outcome-based education, the greater focus is an assurance of learning with respect to the academical inputs, and an assurance of attainment with respect to their competencies. That is what outcome-based education really focuses on. So definitely, it is the need of the hour. The students who are passing out of the professional colleges should be competent to meet any challenges regarding their workspace, or in the professional platform, or in the life space, or in the social space. They have to be made fit to be a worthy member of the society, a worthy member of the a worthy employee of the industry to which they are been working with. So this is what outcome-based education focuses. So now we can just access what is the difference that we could focus here. Traditionally, we are more concerned about the horizontal axis. What is the horizontal axis? Whether the students are passing or not. We want the students to qualify the examination, get good results, and that will be made as that percentage of pass will be made as something that we value in that educational scenario, isn't it? That is something ornamental. Okay, that is we have got that much of result. We are focusing on this horizontal axis. And what outcome-based education emphasizes is that they, together with the academical stuff, they are ensuring what? A set of competencies that make them successful in their life and career. So what are such competencies? That is the communication skill, the teamwork, problem solving ability, creative thinking, time management, project management, ability to use the modern strategies. All these things are the different competencies that they have to acquire apart from the academical inputs related to their area of study. Okay, so the outcome-based education want the scholar to traverse not in a horizontal way or neither in the vertical way. They want the scholars to go in a in this slanting way, so that both their what you could say, if we go in a slanting way like this, we need both the academically strong as well as competent with respect to the different abilities also has to be ensured. So that is what the real importance of outcome-based education. So when we are talking about outcome-based education, we'll be thinking about PO, different competencies, communication skill, problem solving. All these things are the need of the hour. So we want the students to be successful not only in there. So I would like to say that these are something their cognitive domain, or these are something related to their academical inputs, and these are something related to what they're capable of doing. So outcome-based education focuses on both what they should know and what they are capable of doing. So that is what outcome-based education focuses. So this what they should know and what they are capable of doing will be prefixed first as the outcome, and all the activities that you perform will be steering you towards that particular destination. That is what outcome-based education really emphasizes. So I think now it's clear. I don't think that there is a better slide than this, which gives you a good thought regarding why there is a need for outcome-based education. So in the context of the previous slide, you can just read what I have written about what is outcome-based education. If you're finding it difficult to read the entire thing, just read that red, which is been highlighted in that red color. So outcome-based education is a model of education that deviates from traditional focus. Traditional focus is more emphasizing on the academical stuff. The traditional focus is on what the institution provide to the student in favor of making the student demonstrate what that they know, that is the horizontal axis that they know and they are able to do, that is the competency axis, y axis. So outcome based education is just adding one more dimension, emphasizing one more dimension in the as the set of competencies, and ensuring that both the competencies as well as the academical inputs has to be attained by the students on completion of the program. So that is what outcome-based education emphasizes. So, being an introductory component of the outcome-based education, you can just go through these four principles of on outcome-based education. The basic, the primary principle of outcome-based education is that it gives a clarity of focus. Clarity of focus, isn't it? Clarity of focus in the sense, what does it emphasizes? That is where to go, what should be the end product of your classroom interaction, or what should be the end product of your on completion of the entire course, what should be the end product, what the students are capable of doing, to what height you should enhance the students ability. That should be prefixed first. So what is the benefit out of that? You get a clarity where to go and how to reach there, isn't it? Suppose when you're preparing for a travel, when we are preparing for a travel, we will be fixing the destination first, and all the activities that we perform will be steering you to that particular destination. So when we fix the destination where to go first, then definitely you will be able to attain that. So that gives a lot of clarity, and it will help you to eliminate wasteful effort. That is why I told that the outcome-based education is a directional thing that take you to that particular destination which has been prefixed there. That's it. And designing down. What is designing down? When the destination is being fixed, what we do, we will be planning from the end point, and our activities will be scheduled accordingly, isn't it? For example, suppose if I want to uh, 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 leave to Delhi at this my flight time is 10 o'clock. I have to reach the airport at 1 hour. I have to reach there at 9 o'clock. So if I want to reach there at 9 o'clock, my residence is at Cochin, so I have to travel about 1 hour through cab. So I have to start from home at 8 o'clock. So being in the morning hours, there is a possibility of some traffic jam. So I have to go 15 minutes earlier. So I have to, isn't it? I have to start at least at 7:45. So if I want to start at 7:45, I have to make up for the travel from 7:50. Like that, I am designing the entire process of my journey from the end point. The same scenario is there with this outcome based education, because the end point is fixed. This is what you want the scholars to attain. So what is the roadmap that lead you to these destinations will be planned from the end point, so that your travel or your preparations will be in the right way till the end point is attained, isn't it? So when this is when such a planning is being made, when you are executing at each and every point, you can check whether you are going in the right way, whether you are going in the right track. And that particular checking is nothing but the formative evaluation, which comes as the hero in this outcome based educational process. So this is how the outcome based education functions. It gives a clarity because we have got a clear cut end that what the students are capable of doing, and we are planning our activities so that by the end of the program the students should be able to do such and such thing. So what all activities we should incorporate into our teaching learning process, so that by the end of the teaching learning process the students will be able to perform what we have prefixed at the start. So that is how the curriculum will be designed. That is, it will be designed from backward, from the end. And the third thing is that high expectations of the scholars. High expectations, because in the previous slide we told that everybody can learn if they are provided with the right situations of prior and current condition of learning, isn't it? So that is the most important concept, that we cannot say that these students will not be able to reach that particular destinations, because anybody can reach that particular destinations if the means to attain the destinations is compatible to their level. So it is the role of the teacher to ensure that the teaching learning methods and strategies that they are adopted will be steering the students into these particular destinations. That is, everybody will be able to attain that. So we have to constructively align that activities. If the constructive alignment is in the right way, we'll be able to attain the destinations without any easy. And expanded opportunities in the sense that all the students will not be having the same level. There will be heterogeneity will be there. So we should bring out a diversification of activities to the students in order to pick them from their particular level and ensure that they attain the endpoint. So this is the main, what we could say, the principles of outcome-based education. So once you have this as a clarity, this is how the things happen. If you are taking it in the mind, then there is nobody, there is no need for any help or assistance from anyone in order to implement that outcome-based education, because you are masters in your area that you are working with. So when you are approaching your curricular activities, your pedagogical approaches in this line, definitely the things will come to you. How to work with the curriculum, how to work with that activities. All these things will come in the right way, so that at the end point will be attained. And this is the obviously you will be familiar with this architecture. This is a small presentation of an institution which has implemented outcome-based educations. You can see the different components related to the outcome-based educations. And in the upcoming slides, we'll be discussing on what are these components. Obviously, every institutions will be having, and vision and mission will be there, because every institution will be having a vision and mission. So this vision and mission will decide the way, the modus of operandi of your institutions. So on the basis of your vision and mission, and on the basis of your consultations with the stakeholders, you should develop what should be the educational goal of the program. And that educational goal is nothing but what we call as program educational objectives. So before going into this program educational objectives, you can see two pillars here. Two pillars. One pillar is dedicated for development, and one pillar is dedicated for attainment. And what is the specialty of here? Here it is, there is an arrow to the side of this pillar from top to down. That is, if you want to develop the curriculum according to the outcome-based education, you have to come from top to down. Top to down. That is designing downward. Designing downward. That is, the curriculum should come from top to down. We'll be making it clear why it is top. And what is here? Attainment. If you want to calculate the attainment, the assessment of an outcome-based educational scenario, we have to go from bottom to top. That is, you have to start the assessment from the lower level activities, and on the basis of that assessments from the lower level activities, like the different test, assessing the different test, or the assessing the different projects that we give, or assessing the different assignments that you give, or assessing the different activities that you give on the way, as the way of your curricular activities. On the basis of this assessment, you will be calculating what is their outcome level attainment and what is the program level attainment, so that the attainment assessment will be going from bottom to top. So these two pillars make it clear that if you want to formulate a curriculum, you have to start from vision and mission. And if you want to go with the attainment calculation, we want to begin with the lower level activities, the base level activities, calculate that attainment, and on the basis of attainment, we'll be calculating the attainment of the higher, the COs of the higher level hierarchy. That is how it has to happen. So we have checked what is the vision and mission, and the two pillars that comes at the extreme ends. And what is program educational objectives, isn't it? These program educational objectives are nothing but the immediate goal of the educational goal. Immediate educational goal, in the sense the educational goals can be immediate or distant goal. The program educational objectives are nothing but the immediate goal of the education. That is what should be the educational goal when the student pass out of the education of your program. Suppose if they are enrolled for a 4-year undergraduate program, after completing of the undergraduate program, what should be the what the students are capable of doing? What the students are capable of doing after the completion of the program, isn't it? Obviously, they have to enter into any profession or any job, a career. They have to make a career after completing the task, or they have to pursue the higher education, or they have to live with the society. So these immediate goals has to be first formulated. isn't it? So obviously, when we begin with the curriculum, we have to first set what is the objective of the program that you're offering. Objective means what is the educational goal that you are focusing through your program, what you are trying to make the students. So that is what. So these educational goals will be in accordance with the vision and mission of the college, as well as the requirement of the stakeholders. Stakeholders in the sense the society, the employers, all these things on consultation of them. What are the what is their requirements? On the basis of that only, we are fixing the program educational objectives. So there is only one odd man in this stuff, in this pack. That is only the educational objective, and all the rest are outcomes. So when the educational goals are set, what is next? We want to identify what are the competencies. I repeat, what are the competencies that the students should attain in order for the actualization of these educational objectives, isn't it? So what are the competencies that you have to serve the students, or what are the competencies that the students should attain from your college so that they will be able to actualize these educational goals? So there is a very clear cut connection between the educational goals and the different competencies that you have to ensure, the competencies that you have to ensure in the students while they pass out, right? So there is a direct connection between the educational goals and these competencies. And these competencies are nothing but, we can call it as the graduate attributes. The graduate attributes are the bunch of competencies that the graduation program should ensure in the students. So when you are formulating a curriculum, you have to identify what are the graduate attributes that you have to ensure in the students. That is the first thing. Graduate attributes that you have to ensure in the students. And obviously, you have already defined what are the educational goals of the program. So these competencies should be in lines with these educational goals. Then only they will be able to actualize the educational goals. So these are nothing but the takeaways in the form of the competencies when the students pass out. So when I say takeaways, definitely you should ensure that the takeaways or these competencies are there with the students when they move out. So that competencies, or we can say that graduate attributes. So the different graduate attributes, what we can say is that communication skill is a graduate attribute, isn't it? Problem solving ability is a graduate attribute. All these things are the takeaways that you should ensure in the students. And these, if they are if they are moving out of this educational stream with these graduate attributes, definitely they will be able to be successful, attain the different objectives that you have prefixed as the educational objectives, program educational objectives. So these are the graduate attributes. But here it is written not graduate attributes, program outcomes and program specific outcomes, isn't it? So what is the difference between the graduate attribute and the program outcomes? The graduate program outcomes are nothing but the graduate attributes written in a verbal form, stating that what the students are capable of doing with respect to that graduate attribute. So we will literally use both the graduate attribute or program outcome in the same context, isn't it? So graduate attributes is a bunch of competencies, and when you are presenting the bunch of competencies in the verbally in the form of what the students are capable of doing, it become a program outcome. So the graduate attribute is the soul of program outcomes. When they are presented in the form of an outcome statement, they becomes a program outcomes. For example, communication skill. How will you write the communication skill in the form of an outcome? The students, on completion of this program, the students will be able to what? Read, write, communicate, negotiate, and use that official correspondence in their lives, in their workspace, life space, etc., etc., etc. So this is what they are able to do with respect to what the communication skill. So graduate attribute communication skill written in the form of a outcome statement becomes a program outcome. So what we have identified what are the graduate attributes that the students should attain when they pass out of that educational programs, and these graduate attributes written in the form of an outcome statement will ensure will be called as a program outcome. The program outcomes are something common. That is, in a college there will be different types of programs like BA, BSc, BCom. Different programs will be there. So definitely, all these programs will be having some common generic attributes, which we can call it as program outcomes. And these programs may also have some specific which is related to that particular discipline specific. That graduate attributes we can call it as program specific outcomes. So the second level of our architecture is the program outcomes and program specific outcomes. And the goal of the program is to ensure that on completion of the 4-year undergraduate program, the students should attain all these program outcomes which we have prefixed at the beginning of the program. And how are they attained? These program outcomes are attained through the different courses and activities you provide in the form of the 8 semesters that you give as a part of the program. So these program outcomes are the end result of the program. So they are attained through the different courses, the different subjects like major subjects, minor subjects, value added courses, skill enhancement courses, likewise multidisciplinary courses. Like that, a number of courses is being packed and provided as a part of our new educational policy. All these courses are intended finally for the attainment of this program outcome. So when we are formalizing these outcomes, the course level outcomes, when we say outcome based, everything will be centered around outcome, isn't it? So if you are selecting one course, we will be identifying what is the outcome by learning that particular course by the way of that program. So that outcome with respect to the course, we can call it as the course level outcome. And this course level outcome will be related to any of these or few of these program outcomes, because the program outcomes are met through these courses. So in a very simple sense, I can say that the different courses and activities are the tools that the teacher use in order to ensure the program outcomes in the learner. So all these tools should be connected with the program outcomes that we are prefixed. That is why while we are formulating, it should come from top to down. So these tools are selected in such a way that these tools, in the sense, these courses are selected in such a way that they addresses these programs some way or the other. That is why when we are formulating, we should come from top to down. Isn't it? I think it's clear. And when we are assessing, you are not directly going and assessing what is the program level assessment. We will be assessing continuously the different activities related to the course. As a part of the course, the different activities, and on the basis of that their performance of these activities, you will be ascertaining to what level the outcome related to the course are met. And all these courses will be related to the program outcomes. So on their level of attainment of these course level outcomes, we will be able to estimate to what level the program outcomes are met. So that is why the assessment takes place from bottom to top. I think this architecture is clear. So this is the architecture of the outcome-based education. While we are formulating, we have to move from vision and mission. We have to set program educational objectives. The program educational objectives will give you a clear-cut indications on what all graduate attributes you have to ascertain in the students for the actualization of the educational goals. And on the basis of these graduate attributes, when they are rewritten in the form of what the students are capable of doing through these graduate attributes, we can call it as program outcomes. And how these program outcomes are met, they are met through different tools which we can provide to the students in the form of different courses. So when we are dealing with the courses, since it is an outcome-based education, we have to ascertain what the students are capable of doing on completion of these courses, and these outcomes will be definitely related to the program outcomes, because these courses are selected on the basis of the program outcomes. So this is the architecture of the program outcome-based education. So I think we had a long thoughts which has been going on. So now let us make some relaxations at this point of time. What relaxation? This is the paradigm shift which has been happening in an outcome-based education. It is now the time for you to comment, isn't it? What is the paradigm shift? This is what the traditional educational system focuses. This is the status of the learner. Actually, he is more focused on more academical stuff, isn't it? And what does the outcome-based education want the learner to be? You can just comment. Let me take my chat box. What is the paradigm shift? What is the paradigm shift in an outcome-based education, isn't it? This is the traditional system, and in the outcome-based education, what is the differences that you are trying? Yeah, a lot of things are coming up. The outcome-based education, they are at student-centric, isn't it? More skills, focusing on more skills is there. Multitasking, a lot of things are coming up. Definitely, you are in the right track, isn't it? Traditionally, we are focusing more on the academical inputs, isn't it? That is why in the first slide which I've shown, we told that it is a very good result because 91% of the students are passed. But here, the focus is not only the academic. We want them to be multitaskers, isn't it? They should be competent with the different competencies. Like they should be more creative. They should have the ability of time management. They should have the ability to deal with new innovations. They should have the ability to handle that is the latest technologies. So they should be tech savvy. Likewise, they should be filled with a number of competencies, isn't it? So this is the main differences that we have to. We could see that we are drifting. We are shifting away from more focuses on academic. That do not mean that academic is underweight. They are given importance, but together with that, their competencies also, the y-axis which we have showcased in the first slide, is also given priority. They should be multitasking. They should be capable of doing multiple activities, which makes them successful in their life as well as in their career, as well as in their social engagements, etc., etc., etc. So this is what the contemporary education system focuses. That is why we showcases like problem solving ability, ability to use modern tools, then creativity, likewise ethics. A lot of things has been integrated. And I would like to say, once I was been happening one section before, what is the difference? As a joke, one of the participant has said that, okay, sir, in the contemporary system, it is mandatory that we have to use a specs. That guy with the contemporary system is having a specs, and the other one is not having a specs. Okay, obviously that is a very critical and crucial observation in a satire manner. So, because obviously they are involved in many a lot of activities, and they are much tech savvy, more engaged in AI tools, and more engaged with the laptops. Definitely, there's a possibility for them to switch to that is vision with these spectacles, right? Okay, actually that was for a fun that they have told that the second guy is using a spec, so that's a major difference, right? Okay, coming back. So actually, I have just given this architecture, And we found that these are the different components in this architecture. Just somebody has asked what is the difference between program outcomes, program educational outcomes, like that. So in order to make it little more clear, some more details has been given in the program educational with respect to these components. So when we are just analyzing the architecture, program educational objective is the only odd man in an outcome-based educational scenario, isn't it? Objective, that is only odd man. Why objective? Objective is futuristic. What the students are capable of doing within few years after they leave. Okay, that is immediate. But if I say that distant goal, that is what the students are capable of doing after 10 to 50, 10 to 20 years after leaving that institution, that is not proper, because once the students leave the college, the first few years, the major influence will be from what they have attained from the college, isn't it? So in a program, in an outcome-based education, we are focusing on the immediate goals, what the students are capable of doing immediately after they pass out of the education institution. That is been showcased as program educational objective. So that is the immediate goal, isn't it? So what is program educational objective? That is, these are the broad statements that focuses on, you can read, what the students are expected to attain within the first few years. Why first few years? Because the major influence on the students for the first few years, for the first 2 or 3 years, definitely is the inputs that they have gained from the college. And later on, for after 20 to 25 years, definitely the life experiences and many other experiences will change them in a better way. So the first few years, the major influence will be from the college. That is why we say that immediate goals, the program educational objectives are the immediate goals what the students should be capable of doing when they leave the college, isn't it? And they are estimated using, actually they are futuristic. When they pass out, we will not be having any idea regarding whether they are capable of doing it completely in a better way. So after the outcome-based education do not stop, that is, the assessment process do not stop when they pass out of the education institutions, isn't it? We have to get inputs from the students in the way of follow-up on from the stakeholders, from the peers, on how they are progressing well, in order to validate whether your assessment with regard to their capabilities are really working in the real scenario. So in an outcome-based education, some regular feedback regarding the students who have passed out is essential, and on the basis of the feedback, we have to continuously make some changes in the inputs or in the this course outcomes or in the assessment strategies that we are adopting. So this the outcome-based educational topology is always an evolving one. It is not static. Once you are prepared, okay, everything is over. This will run for about 3 to 4 years. No. Every time when the students pass out, we have to make a constant wrap up with them, whether they have successfully placed and feedback from the employees, whether they are successfully progressing well in the professional field. And on the basis of this feedback, we have to make constant improvisations in the curriculum, so that this system will evolve as the best which can contribute to the society as well as to the industry, like that. So that is what we say, that the program educational objectives cannot be directly measured when they leave the college, because this is predictive something, what they are capable of doing in the future. Only after that only we will be able to get authentic results on their performance. So that should be gathered periodically, and on the basis of that, some constant restructuring of that activities and programs has to be ensured. So that is one thing in an outcome-based educational format. So what educational PEO means, what they're capable of doing in future when they leave the college. So it should begin from that. So these are some program education. I have just given some dummy statements for you to conceptualize what is educational goals, isn't it? The graduate will be able to demonstrate competency and leadership to become, after leaving the undergraduate program, definitely one of the most important area of focus will be to get into a career. That is what is given here. Become a professional or employee working under an employer, or an entrepreneur. That is, he has the ability to build up a startup, and he will be giving employment to the others as a startup entrepreneur, leading to a successful career. So that will be one of the major focus of an undergraduate program, to make them comfortable to get into a career or to pursue higher education. So what is the immediate goal when they pass out of the educational program, of the education institutions? Either they have to get into a professional platform, a career shoes, or whether to go for higher educations for further enhancement of their learning. What is the second thing? The graduate will demonstrate commitment towards the preservation of environment and sustainable development of the society. So that is another important goals. When they leave out, they are not only professional. They are not only professional or employees. They have to live in and with the society. So they have to become. They have to become productive member of the society. They have to become an accountable person of the society. So social commitment should be there. And not only that, they have to live in with the physical environment. With the environment, they should think about sustainability, because after our life, there are generations to come. So we have to think about preservation of that environment. All these things have to be brought about in the learner. So all these things are something of prime importance. They have to get into a career, or they have to go for a higher education. They have to live with the society. They have to live with the environment, the physical environment they are in. And another important thing is that they should be lifelong learners, because now we are living in the in an area where the development is not happening in a slow pace. Only explosive development has been happening. So they should get an ability to keep in rapport with the latest developments in whatever spheres they are working with. Otherwise, they'll be they'll be pulled out of the workspace, or they will not be able to progress. So they should be able to keep abreast with the latest developments in whatever area that we're working with. That can happen only with the ability to keep in rapport, that is lifelong learning. So these are some of the immediate goals that the educational system should focus. So in order to attain this educational, so that is the program educational objectives. So in order to attain this, in order to actualize these goals, what are the competencies that they have to that we should ensure in this learner? These competencies, what competencies are essential for them to become an employee? What competencies are essential for them to take a good career, or to become an entrepreneur? What all competencies are needed? What all competencies are needed for them to live as a productive member of the society? So if you want to fulfill all these educational objectives, we have to ensure different competencies. So these different competencies are nothing but the graduate attribute we should ensure in the learner. So while we are formulating an outcome-based educational curriculum, the first thing that we have to ensure is what is the goal, immediate goal of the program. And for actualization of these immediate goals, what are the competencies we should ensure in the learner? That has to be identified. And this bunch of competencies we can call as graduate attribute. Now I am giving, I am just asking you, giving an opportunity to you to respond. I have taken the first program educational objective. What is that? A graduate will be able to demonstrate competency and leadership to become professional entrepreneur, etc. Okay. Suppose if you are dealing with a program of business management. Okay, business management. And this is the educational goal for the program that you are there. So what all competency you should ensure in that learner in order to get into a career? You can put it in your chat. If you want the students to get into some career related to business management, probably a sales executive, or sales manager, whatever it may be. What all competency is necessary for that? You can put it. Okay, marketing skills are needed. You need marketing skills. Okay, you should communicate. Communication skills are there. Okay, you should have ethics. Yeah, you are good team. I really appreciate. So from where did these competencies, graduate attributes is been identified? It should be identified from the program educational objectives that you are showcasing first. Every program educational objectives will be pointing some graduate attributes that is essential for the accomplishment of these program education objectives. So this is how the graduate attribute should be filtered out for the program. So these are the set of graduate attributes which the UGC has suggested. This is just like a buffet, isn't it? You can take some appropriate graduate attributes from this, or even something beyond this, for what? For the actualization of the program educational objectives that you have highlighted, isn't it? Disciplinary knowledge is important. Marketing skill is something related to the discipline. If you want to become after this BBA, if they want to get into, they should have some marketing skills. All these things related to their discipline. Communication skills is there. Critical thinking, problem solving. Likewise, a number of skills are there. These are the graduate attribute. And then how can I call this graduate attribute a program outcome? Suppose if I've just told that communication skill. So what is the outcome of this competency? So this graduate attributes, communication skill is a bunch of competencies like reading, writing, comprehending, negotiating, dealing with official correspondence, like that. A number of sub skills are there. So when I say communication skill, what the students are able to do on completion, the students are able to demonstrate skill in reading, writing. What are the other competencies? Reading, writing, comprehending, negotiating, dealing with official correspondence. So this is what they're capable of doing. So this communication skill, when presented in the way what they are capable of doing, will be transformed into a program outcome. So the core of the program outcome is nothing but a graduate attribute. Obviously, there are a lot of confusions that the teachers are having. What is whether they are two? Actually, they are one. And these graduate attributes can be either related to knowledge, disciplinary knowledge, or communication skill. It can be what? It can be skill related, or ethics, or something like that. Moral ethics. They can be related to their attitude or values, isn't it? So likewise, so these graduate attributes can be either in the form of knowledge, or it could be in the form of skills, or it could be in the form of attitude. So these are the three pillars of education, the graduate attributes, which we are presenting it in the form of knowledge, skills, and attitudes. Okay. And these are the graduate attributes that is been given by NBA. So this is for the engineering programs. So here, what we could see is that we have got a standardization of these program outcomes or graduate attributes for this program for engineering colleges, because we know that actually why this has happened is that this has been taken from Washington Accord, because we are the member of that particular group. We have signed the treaty that once we are taking an engineering program from the Tier 1 accredited college by NBA, there is no need for any equivalence for the graduates to pursue education if in the other countries who has been coming in that particular treaty of this Washington Accord. So they can pursue education there, or they can get job there because these the qualifications that they have taken is been considered as equivalent without going for any equivalence. So that gives a mobility. So they and with respect to their Washington Accord, we have to adopt these set of 12 POs for the engineering colleges, and we have to adopt what the outcome-based educational outcome-based educational methodology in that engineering programs, so that by the end of the program, these outcomes are met So this will be the standardized outcome for all that, all the developing, that is USA, UK, France. All these are the members of these Washington Accord. So they will be having a standardized output with respect to the professional graduates. So this has two significance. One, it has given is a global mobility to the professionals to work anywhere and learn anywhere, because they are having an equal, there is a standardization of their educational positioning. So that is it. And the second thing is that the level of learning has come to a global standard. So this is, and the thing is that when we are going with an outcome-based format, we have ensuring that these outcomes are met with the program. So now arts and science and other colleges are going with these outcome-based education, and the new education policy 2020 has ascertained that outcome-based education is mandatory in this according to the new framework, educational framework. So now I think this is clear. We have analyzed what is program educational objectives, and from the program educational objectives, we have identified what are the bunch of competencies in the form of graduate attributes. And when the graduate attributes is written in the form of an outcome, what the students are capable of doing with respect to that particular graduate attribute, we can call it as program outcomes. So now these graduate attributes, we identified that the graduate attributes can be in the form of knowledge, disciplinary knowledge, domain knowledge, etc. Then it can be in the form of skills, problem solving skills, etc., etc. It can be in the form of attitudes like environment consciousness, then ethics, values, etc. So the graduate attribute can take in any of these forms. So what is program outcomes are nothing but they refers to the knowledge, skill, attitude. I will refer graduate attribute. The students should have, I repeat, should have at the end of the program. So when I say should have at the end of the program, I will be prefixing it first. Before starting this program, I'll be prefixing it that after completing the 4-year undergraduate program, you will be able to do all these things with respect to these graduate attributes, the program outcomes, like this knowledge, skill, attitudes. You will be able to do all the activities related to these graduate attributes on completion of the program, prefixing it first, and through the program, ensuring it. Prefixing, ensuring it. So it is a directional thing that direct all the activities to these graduate attributes. That is what. And what is program specific outcomes? I think there was a question in the chat which I've just checked out. What is the difference between program outcomes and program specific outcomes? Because the program outcomes are generic outcomes which the these what you could say all the programs should have, whether it is a BCA program, a computer application program, or whether it is a BA literature program, or whether it is a BSc mathematics program. The common competencies essential for these entire graduates could be considered as program outcomes, generic outcomes. For example, communication skill is needed for everyone, irrespective of the discipline. They should be able to communicate, isn't it? Then this environmental consciousness is important for everyone, isn't it? Likewise, problem solving ability. Likewise, the generic thing which is essential. Sustainability values is important for everyone, because irrespective of the discipline, they should have a consciousness about the sustainability values, the environment consciousness, sustainability values, critical thinking is important for irrespective of that field of study. All these things are essential for the graduates. And program specific are domain specific. That is those graduate attributes related to their area of study. For example, applying their knowledge of the particular area into their workspace. So that is domain specific. Suppose if the students is a computer application, then their domain specific thing is that they have to apply their knowledge in different computational scenario, isn't it? So that is domain specific. So they are related to the particular scenario of computation. So applying the mathematical and this computer principles in the area of computation, isn't it? Or software development, that is domain specific. So something which is related to the domain specific is been included as program specific outcome. So generic outcomes which everyone should commonly have could be termed as program outcomes, and at the same level which is been specifically related to their area of study could be termed as program specific outcomes. So the program specific outcomes describes that what graduate of a specific program will be able to do. So those who are having a mathematical background will be different from those who are having this language background, isn't it? For them, literature oriented skills are related. For mathematical, computation skills. For computer science, something related to the programs. Likewise, the subject specific skills, that is program specific outcomes. And this is nothing but by the end of the outcome based education, after completing the entire 8 semesters, definitely in the traditional system, we will be giving the students what the assessment cards with respect to each subject that they have completed, isn't it? Probably according to our this current program and new educational policy, up to third year we'll be having about 36 courses will be there, and we'll be giving them the marks or the grade with related to their course level study. But in an outcome based education, some additional thing should be given. That is, you can just reflect on the first slide which I've shown. The horizontal axis, the academical accomplishment. The vertical axis is something related to what they're capable of doing in the terms of different competencies. So these are the different competencies which we have showcased as the program outcome. So to what level they have attained, that is what we are calculating in an outcome-based assessment. So in an outcome-based assessment, together with the course-wise assessment which we already do in the traditional system, we are computing what? The program level attainment, isn't it? We have identified, suppose we have identified that disciplinary knowledge, communication skill, critical thinking, problem solving, these are the different graduate attributes or the program outcomes that we have identified for our program. And by the end of the program, what we have to estimate, that is we just like giving marks to every students, we have to estimate every student's level of attainment with respect to these competencies, isn't it? And it is been assessed with respect to a 4-point scale where the minimum is 0 and maximum is 3. So from 0 to 3 in a 4-point scale, we are assessing the level of attainment, isn't it? And how we will be calculating all these level of attainment will be discussed in detail in the upcoming sections there. So here, what can you say that? Okay, this guy is having a disciplinary knowledge up to 2.3. His communication skill is 1.8 out of 1.8 out of 3. So that is about 60%. 1.8 is 60%. 1.5 out of 3 is 50%. So just a 60%. The critical thinking, this guy is a very has got a very good competency in critical thinking. It's about 90% is there, isn't it? So this will give you. So apart from their accomplishment in the subject paper, you are additionally giving. You will be able to additionally give a card like this, focusing on to what level that they have scaled in their competency ladder. So that could be given. But the thing is that if you want to give it to the student at the initial stages, it is a risk. The problem is that suppose if this will be just like an authentic profile given to the students, and if you're giving that, okay, the communication skill, if you're giving 2.7 out of 3, isn't it? The employer to whom that this student brings their progress card will be much delighted to accept it because he is having a very good communication skill. But in reality, when they are given some task related to the official correspondence, and if they are not able to even write their name correctly, or even to draft a single basic correspondence letter, definitely that will backfire on the institutions. So such a card could be issued only when the system is matured and when you ascertain the validity of your estimate, isn't it? It could be either done either in a score pattern, or you can make a heat scale. That is something above 70%, that is 2.1 and above. A score 2.1 and above, you can say that the achievement is high. You can give it in green. And something beyond 1.5 and 1.5 means 50%, and 70%, 2.1, you can give it as moderate, okay, orange. So this signifies that, and something beyond 50%, you can say that it is less. So in an outcome-based education, there is no compromise. We want to ensure that they have crossed the target. 50%, if you're considering as 50%, okay, you would say that the students have attained that outcome at least at a moderate level only if they pass the target of 50%. So you will be able to identify this. So at the first instance, this could be used as a documentation purpose in order to give you some idea regarding to what level that the students are attaining. And once you get some feedback from I've already told that when the student pass out of the education institutions, your business do not stop there. You have to go with a follow-up, get some inputs from the peers as well as the employees regarding the performance, and to cross-check whether the result that they are displayed in the real world and what you have calculated, whether they are going in the right way. That is the validation process that happens. And if it is in the right way, obviously you can ascertain that the system is getting matured. Or if it is not going in the right way, you can make some changes in the calculation patterns or in the assessment strategies, so that we have to ensure the validity of these estimates. Once it is made valid, then you can issue certificates with respect to the level of competencies. And once you attain such a level of issuing a certificate on the basis of the competencies, that will be a very big leap. It will be just like an authentic profile given to the students, right? So that is what we are discussing about program outcomes. So we have mentioned what is program educational outcomes of graduate attributes. Graduate attributes written in the form of outcome statement, program outcomes. And what is the difference between program outcomes and program specific outcomes? Program outcomes, we found that. So in an outcome-based education, this program outcomes and program specific outcomes will be first identified, and the entire 4-year programs will be steered such that by the end of the program, by the end of the 4-year program, these program outcomes and program specific outcomes are met at least at a minimum level of target, isn't it? That is what it focuses. And what is course outcome? So as I've told that the courses are nothing but the tools by which we make the students attain the program outcomes. So probably for a program, they can be about 40 to 45 activities and courses that together is been distributed in 8 semesters if it is a 4-year program. And if the students are living at the 3rd year, there will be 36 papers distributed over these 3 years or 6 semesters. So when we come into an outcome-based education, just like you prefixed what will be the outcome of the program, you have to prefix what will be the outcome of every course. So it is the program outcomes and program specific outcomes are identified not from a teacher level. The program outcomes are identified from the college level, and program specific outcomes are identified at the department level. But here the course outcomes are identified by the teachers who are handling that course. Because obviously by 2030, according to the new educational policy, all the institutions will be coming to the status of an autonomous institutions, isn't it? Either standalone, if there are about more than 3,000 students, or or the institutions forming a cluster will be working in an autonomous pattern. So obviously we have got academic freedom will be there. So we should be there in a position to structure the outcomes and restructure the outcomes according to the latest developments and trends in the industry and the society. So what course outcome is that? Just like program outcomes, on completion of the course, what the students are capable of doing should be prefixed first, and by the end of the course, this has to be SL. So this is actually the essence of outcome-based education. If you are giving an assignment, you have to identify what is the on completion of this assignment, what the students are capable of doing. Prefix the outcome first, and then on the basis of that outcome, you have to identify the topic for that assignment. Whatever you do, first outcome, and then the respective activity which has been pointing to this outcome. That is the outcome-based approach. That is constructively aligning everything to the outcome. So here also, before teaching the program, not a course, you have to identify what is the outcome of the course, and you have to ensure that all activities is been steered, that by the end of that 6 months course, this has to be attained. So you can just read the course. They are the resultant knowledge skills, as we have told, like PO. The PO is by the end of the program. This is by the end of the course, isn't it? And the course
So Lisa, your voice has gone off. Can you people hear me? All right, I think Sulitzer is having an issue with his net. Yes, even for me, Sulitzer's voice is not audible. Let me just give him a call and check.
Sajan, can you hear me now? Sajan, can you hear me? Yeah, because there is some, I lost my connection. That's why I kept my video closed. Sorry for the interruptions. Let me share the screen.
Yeah, you're audible now. Yes,
Yeah,
you're
sorry.
audible now. Yes, proceed.
Yeah. The screen is okay? Can you
Now,
see the
yes,
screen?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
sorry that I lost my connection because I'm in the presentation mode. I'll not be able to see. Thank you, Sujit, for intimating me. Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
so
please proceed.
this is the formula for what you could say writing an outcome. An outcome has got two components. One, the action work, and the learning state. Actually, I was mentioning about a topic which I am going to teach. Actually, I was talking about democracy, the same thing. So if I'm going to take 1 hour class for the topic democracy. So obviously, before going to take the class, what I have to identify, what should be the outcome that I expect from the students who are attending my class on democracy. So I have identified that I just want to give them a conceptual idea of democracy, so that they understand the concept, right? So I'll be just identifying an outcome like that. On completion of the class, the students will be able to explain the different principles of democracy. So that is crystal clear. After completing the class, this outcome should be met. They should be able to explain. This is actually how we have to identify that outcome. The outcome itself is an indicator. Just like outcome is a question, a glorified question that is on because after completing your syllabus, how would you ascertain that whether the students have attained? You are asking some questions. If you are asking a question, explain something, define something. If they are able to answer, you will be able to say that okay, they learned that. So outcome is having the same structure of the question. That is been prefixed first for writing and what a course level outcome. The outcome could be considered as a glorified question, what they're capable of doing on completion, isn't it? So that should be prefixed first. And that outcome should have these two things, action work as well as a learning statement. And I have just showcased an outcome from operation research, as I told. This is the paper, that one, which I am handling at MCA level. So what does this emphasize? What is the outcome here? That is, on completion of my class, the students should be able to do what? Appraise. Appraise means evaluate. Evaluate what? Evaluate what? The effectiveness of optimization technique. I am teaching them different optimization technique. It take integer programming, dynamic programming, simplex method, like the different optimization techniques I'm teaching. So the student should be able to appraise the effectiveness of the optimization techniques, the different optimization technique. And I have given a context also, delimited it to an industrial scenario. So this is an outcome. So this is a higher level outcome because they should know the different optimization technique. They should be able to apply that optimization technique. And from every industrial problem, what all optimization technique is relevant for that particular situations, and which is the best technique, they have to identify and evaluate. So I am taking the students to a very higher level. That is, I want to teach them what is OR, how OR becomes functional, how you can build a model, what are the algorithm for solving the model, what are the different algorithm for different optimization technique, and from different scenario, what all optimization techniques will be significant, and which one is the best. See the height to which I am taking the students, isn't it? So this is how the outcome itself will give you a clarity on what level you are taking the students through your teaching learning process, isn't it? So appraise will identify what the height that you are taking the students in the learning ladder. The optimization technique is the learning statement connected with this, and I have just included the context also. I can also present this even without this. The effectiveness of the optimization technique is an outcome. It becomes a very broader. It's very broader, irrespective of that area. It can be health it can be the health domain. It can be in whatever possible ways, isn't it? Irrespective of the, it can be in the business scenario. It can be in inventory management scenario. It can be in the QE scenario, a broader area. So I have delimited it to an industry related scenario. So this is how I have written an outcome. So an outcome is written in the form of, it should have what the students are capable of doing. Here, what they're capable of doing, evaluating. What is the learning statement connected to that? Is it what? Appraise effectiveness. Appraise effectiveness is their evaluation of what? Optimization technique. That is the learning statement. And I have set a context, delimited it to the scenario of industry. So what is this outcome? Appraise the effectiveness of the optimization technique in the industry. So what I've given you is just a formula for writing an outcome, clubbing what? Action, verb, and learning statement. And if you want to write a course level outcome, there are two ways of writing course level outcome. Probably if a course may have 3 or 4 modules, isn't it? You can take the first module and ask a question. On completion of this module, what the students are capable of doing, will be getting an answer. Reframe that answer in the form of outcome, which has what? The action verb as well as the learning statement. So the beauty is that if you're taking any questions from module 1, it will be related to that outcome. Mapping could be made easy. And sometimes you can ask this question not module wise. You can take the entire course as a whole and ask the same question. You'll be getting many answers, and that answers you can rewrite in the form of multiple outcomes. And it is a good practice to limit the number of outcomes to 4 to 6, depending upon the possibility of your paper. It is not a good practice to stuff that about 10 to 15 outcomes. That is not a good practice, because you have to remove all the redundant outcomes, and the outcomes should be written in a comprehensive way. So now I will not ask you to, you can put these outcomes in the Padlet in LMS. You can write one outcome, a simple learning, just take a topic, a one-day topic. You're going to take a topic, you can write a single outcome related to the topic. Just you can take about 1 minute and write an outcome. Okay, I will not ask you to put it in chat. I will just ask you to correct it by yourself. I think you have written. Okay, so once you, because just a single outcome, simple outcome. You can just say that the because while writing the outcome at a basic level, because outcome assessment will go from the basic level to top level. If you're writing program level outcome, you can use, there is no issues for using higher the higher order verbs like that, like understanding, something like that. But when you are writing outcome for the course level or for a topic level, it is a good practice to avoid these what you could say, these generic verbs, isn't it? It is a good practice not to use these following verbs, isn't it? If you, because the outcome should be observable and measurable. Observable and measurable. Suppose if you are using the word, the students understand the principles of democracy. Can you observe that? Because what the students are capable of doing is not clearly specified in that outcome statement. The outcome statement should specify what the students are capable of doing. In the SPAD is the SPAD is considered as the father of outcome-based education. In his book, it has specifically said that the outcome should be measurable and observable. If I say that understands the principles of democracy, that do not specify what the students are capable of doing. But the outcome which I've said, that the student should be able to explain the principles of democracy, specifies that they have understood the concept and they are able to explain these things. What they're capable of doing is been specifically pinpointed there. So when you're writing outcome at the lower level, it is a good practice. I don't say that it is a wrong practice. I've seen many of the outcomes which is being showcased in the websites by very top colleges. They are using these outcomes. I don't say that it is wrong. If possible, if you are able to bring out some these verbs which are observable, like explains, summarize, illustrates, analyze, like that, then that brings clarity. So if you're writing objective, what is my objective? I want them to understand that. Okay, that is fine. But if I want to make them clear, outcome should be should be a smart one. That is specific. It should be specific, measurable. It should be specific, measurable, and observable. So the outcome should be written in that way. Appreciate by looking at the students. The students appreciate something. By that, do not specify what the students are capable of doing, isn't it? The students learn. That will not say what the students are capable of doing. So these verbs, if possible, could be avoided if there is a better alternative. If you are not getting an alternative, okay, you can go by this, because nobody will say that this is wrong. I said that it is only a good practice. So comparison, the same example. The students will understand democracy, will understand. It is not clear what the students are capable of doing. Is not being evident by this. Describes major theories of democracy means this is what the students are able to do after completing this. They describes. And so the outcomes will be presented in the form of an indicator. This indicates that the outcome is met, right? The students will study about the impact of cultural diversity on nursing care. Will study about the impact. Will study. So what they're capable of doing is still, isn't it? What they are capable of doing is still implicit there. It is not clear. So here, evaluate the impact of cultural diversities on nursing care. So they are able to evaluate the impact. Evaluate. The outcomes are made very clear and observable, what the students are capable of doing. So this is something we have to take into consideration while writing the outcome. The students will learn about the principles. Learn. It is general. So by learning, what they're able to doing is implicit there. The students explains the principles of drug formulation and delivery system, isn't it? What they're capable of doing. So an outcome should be written in that way. The outcome should be written that way. Describe, the verb is observable. And the theories of democracy, the learning statement. Evaluate, higher order. Higher order. The cultural diversity on nursing care, the topic. Explains. So an outcome has a combination of action verb and learning statement, as I have showcased in the previous slides. And while identifying that action verb, try to keep away those action verbs which do not clearly specify or indicate what the students are capable of doing, especially while writing outcome at a granular level, that is at a topic level or even at a course level. You can write such outcomes at a program level, because you are not directly measuring program outcomes. You are really measuring the outcomes at a grassroots level. That is, you give an assignment. On the basis of that assignment, every assignment will be connected with a micro outcome. You will be assessing the attainment with respect to that micro outcome. You will be giving a seminar. You will be giving a project. You will be giving a portfolio. Likewise, different activities you are giving, and every activities will be related to the outcome. On the basis of the performance of this activity, you will be assessing that outcome level attainment. And on the basis of that outcome level attainment, you'll be calculating the CO level attainment. You'll be giving an exams, and these exams will be connected with the different course level outcomes. And on the basis of the performance of these different questions of that exams, you will be assessing the course level outcome. So finally, the course level outcomes are assessed, and on the basis of this course level, we will be calculating program level outcome. So program level outcomes are not directly calculated. So while writing program level outcome, there is excuses. You can write even the verbs like understanding, etc., etc. But while going with the base level, try to use observable outcome because you are directly observing it. So these are the quality check of a good outcome. Quality check of a good outcome. What are the quality check? First thing, are they written using an action verb? Action verb is there to specify definite and observable behavior. That is what? Observable. Explain what the students are capable of doing. Explains, illustrate, summarize, analyze. All these things are observable. Understand is not observable. Isn't appreciate is not observable, isn't it? What do he elicit or specify that he appreciate when he appreciate should be projected on? Does the language describe the student target rather than teacher target? We know that outcome-based education is 100% student-centric. So while reading an outcome, it should clearly specify what the students are capable of doing, isn't it? So that is important. Outcome is written. Now, if you are writing it from the point of view of the teachers, we can call it as objective. And the same thing when it is viewed from the point of view of the students on what they're capable of doing, it becomes an outcome. Do the outcome clearly describes the abilities, knowledge, and etc. etc. What does it mean? When I told about writing that outcome, it has got two components. One, the verb, and other, the learning statement should be clubbed. So the outcome should be clubbed with both the verb part as well as the knowledge, the learning statement or attitude or skill to which it is related. So that is what the abilities, the skills, or the knowledge or the values, isn't it, to which it is connected. That should be very clearly connected together. And you have to ascertain that is it possible to collect accurate and reliable data for ensuring the outcome. Because in an outcome-based education, the most important thing is that we have to identify how this identify whether you these outcomes are whether when you have to identify whether the outcome is met or not. So is there any indicators? Either it can be a test or it can be an activity. So whatever it may be, when you're formulating an outcome, is it possible to devise a mechanism for assessment of this outcome to ensure whether the outcome is met or not? So that is something important. So these are the four quality check of a good outcome. One, action verb, and not a vague one that is crisp, clear on what the students are capable of doing. Second, whether on reading that statement, does it 100% indicate what the students are capable of doing. The third one is that whether the outcome depict the learning statement or the attitude to which it is connected. And is it possible to collect accurate or reliable data for measuring that outcome, or whether there is an indicator for measuring that outcome. So is that outcome measurable? That also should be identified. So if you are not able to devise a mechanism for measuring that outcome, it is not a good thing to put there, because we should get some evidences that the outcome is met. So by the end of the program, we have to ensure that students have met that outcome. So these are some of the sample outcome which I've just showcased. Physics, apply action verb. Law of physics, that is Hooke's laws to compute different types of stress. So what is this? This is the learning statement connected to this. Analyze, what? The action verb. So this action verb will clearly specify to what level you are taking the students in the learning ladder. Analyze, what is the learning statement? Structural element for different force systems to compute the design parameters. Explain, the outcome. Explain the various principles of organizations. So you are teaching the topic principles of organization. So learning statement together is clubbed together. So this is how you can formulate outcomes. So before going to the Tango, let me give you this is the task that is you have to do, and there is a specialty of the task. The Srijan will explain. This has been presented in 2 modes. For first 2 days, this will be open for submission, and later it will be open for you for evaluating the papers which has been presented by the others. So this is a simple document. You can take any of the course that you're handling, the name of the course, and you can write the outcome, the different outcomes which you have already. Obviously, you will be already the outcome will be defined for your topic. So you can write all these outcomes here, and you can check the 4 quality check. I have detailed it here. Check 1, check 2, check 3, etc. Isn't it? A symbol explains explain the principles of democracy. If I write explain the principles of democracy, if I write there, it will come. That outcome will be showcased here. And I say that, okay, the first one, are they written using action verb? Okay, explain. Action verb is there. Then does the language describe the student's target rather than teacher? Okay, explains that the principle of the who will explain? The students are capable of explaining. So obviously, this one is met. Yes. Then does the outline exactly the because I'm teaching the topic on democracy. The learning statement is connected. And is it possible to collect accurate evidence? Okay, I can give a small test for them to explain, or I can ask them to explain randomly so that they will be able to explain. So that also is met. So all the 4 statements are met. So the first outcome is a good outcome. If I don't identify a method to access it, I will put in no. If there is no, then this has changed that the outcome needs improvement. So only if all the 4 quality check is met, we can say that it is a good outcome. If any one is not met, we have to revisit the outcome and in such a way that all the 4 quality check is. So this is the task that you have to do for this. So here, this will be available in the LMS. And corresponding to every task, there is a SOP available, a small video on how to download it, how to answer this question, how to resubmit it into the task, and what is this has been presented to you in the form of a workshop activity. So at the next stage, what you have to do, you will be given with a few of the submissions which has been submitted by the others. So you have to evaluate it and give marks. So here you are given with a 2-level task. One, analyzing your own work, and then analyzing the work of the peers and reporting. So this task is something really very interesting. So that this come to an end of today's segment. Sorry, I thought of completing it at 8:45, but still it has gone little beyond. So anyhow, over to you, Sijin. We will take any queries here.
Okay, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box and we will take it. That's one question. Can we have more? Yeah.
Yeah. I just read it. Can we have more than one action verb for writing an outcome? That is a really a good question. Suppose if you are having 2 action verbs, you have to check whether these action verbs are of same level. If they are of the same level, because at later stages you have to map these outcomes, every activities with these outcomes. So if they are of 2 level, there will be contradictions. If you are so particular that if you need 2 outcomes, then they should be of same level. Or if you are of 2 different levels, then give the priority to the topmost level, because we know that learning happens in a continuum. Because we know that the learning happens from understanding, application, analyzing level. So there is no need to mention understanding and analytical level in one outcome, because when you reach the analytical level, obviously that is foreseen. Understanding level is passed, and they come to application level, and then they come to the analytical level. So once you are using to try to customize it to the higher outcome which is possible. So that is inclusive. The lower level outcome is inclusive. And if you're particular of writing to make it, ensure that they are of the same level. Okay.
That's one question. How many outcomes should we write?
Obviously, that is a very commonly asked question. Obviously, it is a we don't say that this is right and this is wrong. No such things in outcome-based education, because this is only something directional. Directing your activities in the right way. That is the thing. And it is a good practice. I only say it is a good practice. It is a good practice to limit the outcome between 4 to 6. If it is 4 module is there, you can, if it is possible to delimit it to 4 outcomes, it is well and good. And if some modules are comparatively big, you can make it 5. Don't go and make some about 10 or 12 outcomes, because that will mess up the entire things, because you have to make mapping, you have to calculations. So try to be comprehensive while writing out.
Why OBE is not implemented in all courses in all institutions?
Why OBE? We are in the process of implementation now, because in the new educational policy 2020, it is mandatory that all the institutions should go along with an OBE framework, and the framework is already ready. So when you are going with this 4-year undergraduate programs, it is said that this program should be molded in an OBE framework. It is on the way. And for engineering colleges, definitely who are not been adopting OBE, they won't be accredited. If you want to go for accreditation, they need to pursue OBE. And there was one question. Okay,
yeah,
Sujit,
go ahead.
carry.
Do we have to follow NBA-based guidelines or ABET-based guidelines?
If you're there in the engineering colleges, we have to go with that accreditation agency, that is NBA is accrediting the engineering program. So you have to go with that. So consider which is the accreditation agency, and you can adopt that particular guidelines. Can CEO change? Change for the same course next year? Obviously, because this is not for a very long time or lifelong. It is a good practice to revisit the CEO, because once you start with, because the OBE is a framework which has to evolve at every period of time. That is why when the student pass out of the education institutions, we have to conduct follow-up and to ensure whether what we have given them is right according to the industry, and what we have made assessment is right, whether CEO is apt according to the industrial standards. On the basis of that, we have to revisit. So this continuous structuring and restructuring of the every format, right from the CEO assessment practices, strategies, is mandatory there, because we have to evolve it. It is in the phase of evolving to a better quality. That is what is happening.
I don't see any more questions here. If any of you further want to ask question, you can unmute and ask. Just put a raise your hand notification, and we will unmute you to ask the question.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Good evening. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, while writing program-specific outcomes, we are involving stakeholders into. Yes.
Stakeholders, obviously, actually, the program outcomes are something the generic outcomes. And normally, while writing the program specific outcomes, what we normally do is that whatever which is not sent in the generic outcomes, if something has to be added in with respect to the specific programs, that should be included in the program specific outcomes. That is the criteria for writing program specific outcomes. Normally, what we do is that in program specific outcomes, we write domain specific outcomes. I have seen a common format in such a way that writing a program specific outcomes, that is applying the related information related to the domain in the respective that is a relevant field of application, will be considered as one of program specific. So when we write that, it is program specific one. The second thing is that bringing into the program the latest updations could be included like that. So program specific outcomes will be domain specific, that could be written in an application level. And suppose if it is able to present it in a much more higher level, you can present it in that way. Or to keep abreast with the latest developments, you can put it in that way. So that is a normal way of writing. So the general thing is that whatever which is not included in the generic outcome, which we have to showcase as specific related to the domain, you could include it in the program specific outcomes. And when you go to the LMS, definitely there is a lot of use cases which has been presented there. You can refer it. So that will be very useful for you.
Is it necessary to conduct an indirect survey, sir, for that? Say, I mean, so we have to consider from industry, we have to consider from, from different parents, different, while conducting indirect.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Actually, first of all, when we go with the formulation of these outcomes, we have to get the inputs from the stakeholders, because the output that we send out of the students when they go out of the educational institutions, they have to strive as a stakeholder and live along with the stakeholders. So we have to get the opinion of the stakeholders at the formulation stage. That is one thing. And what you are, I presume that what you are speaking out is about the indirect assessments. Because the indirect assessment is a mandatory part in this outcome-based education. That will be discussed while during Mendes' section. But I will just give you some tips. When you are calculating course level outcomes, after completing of the entire assessments, you can just ask, keep a survey to the students, give them an opportunity for self-assessment on the basis of to what extent you feel that you have attained such and such outcome. You can get feedback. And then you can integrate the direct assessment which has been assessed from the college part and the indirect assessment, and you can identify it as the CO level attainment. And from the program level also, after completing the entire program, the CO, that means the calculation of the PO with respect to the different COs and activity outcomes related to that program outcome will be estimated. And then you can have an indirect assessment part from the students. You can directly conduct a survey. You can get information from placement officers. You can get information about if the students are doing some internship. You can get the opinion from the competent authorities from these who have mentored them during the internship programs, and that could be integrated as indirect outcomes, and that could be clubbed together in some ratios like 80-20 or 90-10 to calculate POs. So that will be detailed in the upcoming sections. So that will be clear.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
There are some questions in the chat as well. In case of multiple questions with different levels, how is it selected?
In case of
multiple questions
at a different level, actually, that is what I've priorly told, that if a question is having multiple levels, give priority to the topmost level. That is normally we use, because in the Bloom's taxonomy, the highest level which is being addressed by that question will be considered for mapping of whatever purpose. So go with the highest level, which is included in that question for
Is
mapping.
PSO compulsory?
PSO compulsory in the sense, if you take, I will just mention that NBA, the 12 outcomes which has been given by the NBA. The first 5 outcomes are technical outcomes, and the last 7 outcomes are this is the engineer and society, environment and society, lifelong learning, like 7 outcomes. They are generic outcomes. So if you are categorizing it in this way, I will say that from outcome number 6 to 12 will be equivalent to our PO, and from 1 to 5, that is subject specific. That is for computer science, that will be defined in terms of computer science graduates. If it is mechanical, it will be defined in the form of mechanical graduates. Like disciplinary knowledge, it is subject specific. Problem solving related to the subject. Likewise, we will be having these. So PSO and PO could be considered, actually both PO and PSO is of the same level. So if you are having this common POs, and if you have something additional to say with respect to the subject specific, you can put it as PSO. So don't give more concern about what these technical terms, isn't it? PO, PSO. What it emphasizes is that what the students are capable of doing when they leave your college after the program. So if it has got 2 ways, generic as well as specific, you can put it as PO and PSOs. And suppose if your college is only giving 1 program, then all that outcomes are program outcomes, isn't it? So we are differentiating the same thing as PO and PSO is because we are clubbing together generic outcomes from different programs. And if you have got something more to say, I will club it as PSOs. If you don't have anything to say specific, then there is no PSO, isn't it? That is why, that is the conceptual idea of PO and PSOs. Suppose if your institution is only having 1 program, then all the outcomes could be considered as a program outcome. That's it.
What is a typical time period to revise the PSO?
Actually, there is once you get some indications that from your the students who have passed out of the educational stream regarding a requirement for improvising, definitely you have to go and take on this how changes in these PSOs. So it should be a periodical process. So you can make a revision or 2 yearly or 3 yearly, or whatever depends upon. That is, whenever you get some feedback on there is a requirement for some changes, is inevitable. You have to go and revisit and make some changes, not only on the PSOs or POs or course outcomes. It should happen in all the activities that you're pursuing in the outcome-based scenario.
How can we manage the time with outcome module?
How can we manage?
How can we manage the time with outcome module?
Outcome module. I didn't get what you mean. How can we manage the time? The management of time is you mean that how can we complete the entire thing in the particular way? Because the thing is that in an outcome-based scenario, what we are focusing is that if you are presenting the things, actually it is not bringing much change in your traditional way and outcome-based education. It is a directional thing. The thing is that whatever you do, you have to prefix what is the result and to ensure the result is done, isn't it? For that, the most important thing is that you have to devise which strategy or methodology or pedagogy is apt for attaining that. That should be identified and it should be taken in together. So if you are taking it in the right way, definitely the things will be customized in the right way, isn't it? So there is no use of not completing it. Okay.
Universities write PSO and CO during preparation of syllabus. Affiliating colleges have less autonomy in writing PSO and CO. How to address this?
The universities write PSOs and COs during. I cannot read it. Please read it for me, Srijan. Something is been covering that.
Universities write PSO and CO during preparation of syllabus. Affiliating colleges have less autonomy in writing PSO and CO. How to address this?
Actually, in long run, all the colleges will go to an autonomy standard. That is what new education policy envisages. There is a lot of freedom, flexibility. So definitely, you will be coming to an autonomous status. Now, when the university gives the CO, definitely we have to go with that. When you reach that autonomous standards, you can have your freedom. No issues. What is it? Is it possible to present the OBE result? Definitely, that is what I've mentioned in my class. You can calculate the PO level attainment. And if you want to give it to the students, you have to ensure that whether it is, you have to validate it and ensure that whether it is valid. Otherwise, that will bounce back to you, and it will affect the reputations, isn't it? When the system is matured, you can give it as a certificate to the students, and that will act as a authentic profile to the students' abilities. So once it is a valid one, once you are evaluating it in the right way, and once the assessments are truthful, definitely you can give it as a certificate to the students. That is what in the long run that will happen. Now, if you are giving it, and if it is not worthy, if the students are not worthy of the assessments that you have given, definitely that will backfire not on the institutions, not on the student, but on the institutions. They won't. They will put you in the blacklist. All these things that you're giving will be rubbish. They will wait in that way. So don't be in a haste. You can wait until everything is been done in the right way, and your assessment is valid. So I think most of the queries are answered. So no issues. The LMS, you have a platform for submitting your queries. So we can all the resource persons as well as the we are all resource persons. You are more knowledgeable than me in your area. So definitely, once you're posting it in the LMS, you can get a different opinion. That will be very rich, and you can learn in a win and win manner. Okay.
Sir, program specific outcomes is a mandate for each course, or like it is a program specific outcomes only for that program?
The program specific outcomes is for the program only. Whatever additional that the PO is a generic type of outcomes like communication skills. It's a problem. Likewise, generic things, isn't it? Ethics, lifelong learning, like that, generic things, sustainability values. And if your program has got something more to be included, you can present it in the form of program specific outcomes. So program specific outcomes and PSOs are of same level of hierarchy. And course outcomes is coming to next level, down level of hierarchy, isn't it? So CO is not having, connected to CO, we are not having program specific outcomes, isn't it? CO will be having only outcomes related to that particular course. Okay.
So it must be for that minimum 2, Nazar, or more than 2, you can write it for PSO.
Normally, it is a good practice. I say that it is a good practice to keep the POs from between 8 to 12. That is a good number for POs. And PSOs, it is to write it between 2 to 4 is better, because now we are having majors and minors, etc. According to the new curriculum framework. So I think 4 will be an ideal number. 4. And even if you want to add more, you can come up to 5. So ideal number is 2 to 4. That is it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Please note that there won't be a session tomorrow. The next session will be on Saturday, and the topic will be on OBE, a Canadian experience, that will be taken by Dr. Thomas Verghese.
Okay. Tomorrow it is the same time, no, sir? 7 o'clock.
No, tomorrow is not there. I just said
Okay.
that. The next
Okay,
session
sir.
will be on Saturday.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, actually today I'm unable to join at 7 o'clock due to some technical problem. Just I joined around 8:45 to 9 o'clock. Sorry.
No issues. The video recordings will be there in the LMS. You can just refer it if you have any confusions regarding these introductory sections. So thank you all. It's very happy to be with you for 2 days, and we had a very long time, and I couldn't make the promise. I thought of keeping you that is stop the section before 9, but now it is already 9:15, 9:17. Sorry for that. Anyhow, I enjoyed talking to you. Some good thoughts you have shared, so we have discussed in that. So thank you all. So tomorrow there won't be
Thank
sections,
you very much, sir.
and
Thank
we'll
you.
be
Thank you
having
very much.
very good sections are have to come. Thank you.
Sir, good night. Thank you.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
We will see the day after for the session on OBE Canadian experience. Thank you, everyone. Have a pleasant evening.
यहाँ बैंक के सारे काम हो सकते हैं तो उस और बैंक